All right, everybody, we're back today. I think I've got my microphone working. I finally got the mic adapter for the GoPro in, so hopefully the audio will be back to what you're expecting. I know it's pretty windy today. Hopefully the wind is not picking up on the mic at all. But anyway, we've got several things going on today. Hopefully today will be the last day in the shop. I plan on the next video we do here will be here in the next day or two, and we will actually be in the field. It's pretty dang wet out here today. We had a round of severe storms roll through yesterday. Total we got on about 1.5 inches of rain, so it's pretty dang wet. But hopefully with our cover crops and wheat growing out there, it'll use up a lot of this excess moisture pretty quick and dry the fields out. We're about at the end of our winter projects. Got one last thing to do. We're going to get hooked up to the hooded sprayer today and get it set to go spray our burn down strips. Really don't have any fixing to do on the hooded sprayer. Well, hopefully we don't have any fixing to do. Hopefully don't have any lines busted or anything like that. But we're going to get it ready to go to the field in a couple days, hopefully, and then later on today after lunch, I'm going to run over to Joyce's farm. He's got a hog that I bought from him. We're going to carry it off and have it processed. Oh, mate, well, this seat hadn't been aired up in a long time. Battery's still up after being sitting here for 3 months. Let's pump it up. Well, Zach, it is official. I have now been called a privileged white nationalist. No, but get this. I've been called a privileged white nationalist by a guy whose picture on his Facebook page is a picture of a Bernie sign. I don't think I'm gonna lose too much sleep over that one.
We thought the local call-in show yesterday was gonna be the end of it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, first step, we gotta put this heavy quick hitch onto the tractor here. I don't think the weatherman said it's supposed to be cold and windy today.
I was about to ask you if you wanted me to spray because the wind's supposed to be about 25 all day.
Oh, it's always good to stretch out the back first thing in the morning. All right, give you another bus project update. Got the paint job done on the bus. Y'all like it? No, just kidding. We still got to paint it. But anyway, yesterday we worked on bed frames, the ones that I already made, got them painted, and then got the other set of bed frames made and painted them up. And maybe late this afternoon, we'll have a chance to get all of them back permanently mounted back in the bus. All right, what we got to do to this hooded sprayer here is get it set up to spray our burn down strips in our cover crop. And what we got drop hoses in between each row, and we've got to put our drop nozzles back on here. And what this will do, this will band a herbicide in between the hoods to kill a strip that cover crop that we will then plant back into while protecting the cover crops that go up under the hood so they can keep on growing and keep on accumulating biomass, producing nitrogen, protecting the soil and whatnot. And what this does, this gives us the best of both worlds, because when it gets around to planting time, our cover crops are usually so big that if you didn't have the strip, it's incredibly difficult to get very precise seed placement and get all the seed in the ground. But we still want the benefits of the cover crop for weed control and shading the soil, you know, keeping the soil temperatures cooler in the summer, also keeping moisture in the soil. So like I said, this gives us the best of both worlds. We got a nice clean strip that is easy to plant into, but we've still got a lot of biomass in the middles that still accomplishes the goals that we want in building soil health. All right, we got all of our drop nozzles on. We got some water in our tank. We got our on and off switch wired up. I guess let's start the pump up and see how many leaks we spring. How much you want to bet that I've got my hydraulic hoses for my pump motor backwards? You only got 2 hoses, 50-50 chance that you get it hooked up right, but I only seem to get it right about 25% of the time. Let's try it out. Lever engaged. And I don't hear any whining coming from the pump, so yep, they're backwards. Happens every single time. Dylan Joyce, that's reason 1563. You switch to New Holland tractors over John Deere. The hydraulic coupler is a lot easier to get hooked up and unhooked. Just messing with you, Dylan. I know you love your green paint. All right, let's see if this works. All right, I can hear it now. Turn the switch on. Oh yeah, we got flow. We got way too much flow. Blow some fittings loose with that. I don't see anything just gushing out. Still got our flow too high. So just our hydraulic speed down a little. We're looking for about 20 PSI. All right, that's got us about 18. That's got us right at 20 or a hair over. Let's see, I see one tip that stopped up for sure. All right, let's get down here and check it all out. Whew, I got a bunch of tips that are stopped up. I must not have cleaned them out last year. Let's do that real quick. After further examination of the hooded sprayer, we got a few more problems than just having some stopped up tips. It looks like we've also got some nozzle bodies stopped up too with gunk and rust or whatever. We definitely did not clean the tips out when we got done with it last summer. We hadn't fix that now, but we're going to put off the rest of the hooded sprayer until either late this afternoon or sometime tomorrow morning. Right now we're heading up to Dyer, Tennessee to Dylan Joyce's farm. I bought a hog from him, and we're going to take my hog and his hog to get it processed. This is the first time I've ever been up to his farm or bought a hog from him. Normally I just buy one from the processor where we're getting our beef processed, but due to COVID, all of the meat processors in the area are totally swamped. They're booked up like a year and a half. Just due to high demand. You know, last year we had short supplies of meat and other foods at the grocery stores due to COVID, and a lot of people realized that they need to try to start sourcing their own food, which I'm 100% in favor of. Americans in general need to be a little bit more closely tied to their food supply, I believe. But somehow Dylan was able to find someone who could process a few hogs, so that's what we're heading today. If you haven't already, I highly encourage you to check out Dylan Joyce Farm's YouTube channel. I'll put a link to it right up here in the corner somewhere if I can remember. But he's definitely got one of the more entertaining channels of what I watch regularly. Like I said, he's a local West Tennessee farmer. He's a little bit younger than I am. Him and his brother Robert actually started up their farming operation from almost scratch. I think the farming had skipped a generation or so they were able to get it started back up. They run a fleet of older John Deere equipment, very well maintained equipment. I'll say Dylan really likes his green paint. He's always giving me grief because of all the different colors of equipment we've got on our farm. So anyway, it's good. It's going to be interesting. I talked to him about maybe doing some kind of a crossover video, each of us producing a video of the same thing today and put it on our respective channels. So I would consider it a personal favor if you would check out his channel and subscribe to it. I think he's sitting at like 885 subscribers right now. If you didn't know, it takes a minimum of 1,000 subscribers to be able to monetize your channel, and he's knocking right on that door. So I know I've got between 2,000 and 3,000 viewers who watch all of my videos and watch it most of the way through. So like I said, I would consider it a personal favor if y'all would subscribe to his channel and help get him over the hump to where he can start making a little bit of money off of his videos. All right, looks like we made it here. First time I ever been here on Dylan's farm. Let's see if we can find them. Man alive, look at all the green in here. I think I might have to talk to him about being more inclusive of all colors. In all seriousness, there's nothing wrong with green, especially when you're looking at the vintage of this equipment. This is back when John Deere sold really good equipment at reasonable prices. Now, don't get me wrong, they still sell really good equipment, but it's not at reasonable prices. But heck, I don't know if any manufacturer sells things at reasonable prices nowadays. Found something that we've definitely got in common. I've got the exact same wick bar hanging up on the back wall of one of my sheds too. Haven't used it in years. Well, we're here with Dylan Joyce, and watched his latest video last night fixing the frame rails on the tractor, and I've had kind of the same problems on my tractor. See if he can give me a answers on what to do.
I'll listen. I'll tell you the best of my ability.
What is this 4640 y'all was working on? Right here?
Yeah, it's this one right here.
I think you was repairing what, the bolts in the front, right?
Yeah, my bolts, they backed out right here.
All right, well, where I've had problem is the bolts behind the battery boxes on both sides. Is that common? It's that front end blade. I reckon everybody I've talked to that has ever run a John Deere front end blade has problems with those bolts vibrating loose. Every one of them on mine gave trouble, and those were hid behind that rail, and we just didn't know it. It's a wonder we didn't have a major come apart loose the front end. Or how I noticed it is, you know how the power shift, I mean hard, and we could see like the front end flexing.
Yep.
back and forth, and actually our fan had gotten over into the radiator shroud right there, and we replaced those bolts. We actually had to put a helicoil in a couple of them because I think 2 of them were broke off or whatever, but it still seems like it flexes. I don't think it's really hitting the shroud anymore, but I mean, is that kind of normal for the front end to flex back and forth?
You're gonna have some flex, especially with that front end blade on it. And I think those rails are designed to have a little flex on it, because if you start, it's kind of like the way I understand, it's kind of like the frame of a big truck. If it don't flex a little and you got all that torque on it, it'll break instead of.
Yeah, I'm just used to like Fords and New Hollands where the engine block is the frame and there's no give on it.
Right.
I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something else. We hadn't checked the ones in the front though. We just checked the ones behind the battery box.
I'll tell you what we're going to start doing is once a year in the spring before we start, we're going to start pulling that blade off and checking those bolts. I think it's important enough to pull that blade frame off every year and check it. So that's what we're gonna start doing.
Gotcha.
And the main thing, a lot of what got us into trouble was that pole that runs underneath the tractor that it is supposed to push off of that pole.
Yeah, off the rear end here.
And our pin had gotten some wear in it, so instead of pushing off the drawbar, it was actually pushing off the frame rails, and that wasn't good at all. And I'm not sure that all that stuff getting loose in there and all that didn't contribute some to us having to go in and fix the two-speed.
I never thought about that, about checking the pin. We don't do that much pushing, just some light stuff with our blade. Most of the stuff we use front end loader for.
Well, that front end loader's a good tool. We don't have one, so we use that blade pushing trees, and we do lots of dirt work and stuff. So yeah. We're just about using that blade constantly. Yeah, on our blade a few years ago, we had a problem. This main post that comes up here, it was like cracked on both sides and letting it dip down. Probably from us cutting cotton stalks and just bouncing through the field with it, I guess. I ripped the arms plumb off of mine, and the guy I used to work for, I was farming and helping him too, and we got in there in his shop and we completely rebuilt new arms for my blade. So there's not much that couldn't be done to one that I hadn't done to the front end blade. Tell you, that old Walden blade we had on that 5010 though, there ain't a blade on a bulldozer stouter than what that thing was. Need to talk to you about diversifying your colors and being more inclusive of other colors, more accepting of other colors around here. I give people crap about, I'm just teasing them. I love every color tractor really, but it's just. You even got John Deere tips on your sprayer, man. Oh yeah, on the sprayer that eventually become Case IH. So. Yeah, it's we like green. I mean, that's what I grew up on. So, but my granddad did have some red stuff. About the last red stuff we got left, we got a Case IH 496 disc, and then we got a 6-row scratcher duo. Well, I was wondering, does John Deere not make a grinder mixer? That's the only piece of red you keep in the shed. That's my dad's mixer. You ready to haul some hogs off? Yeah, let's go haul some hogs. Where we going? You going with them again? We're going to K&J Meat Processing in Paris, Tennessee. This is the first time I've used them. My guys that I previously used are getting out of the meat processing business and putting up some chicken barns. All right. You're not talking about those guys in Bradford, are you? Yep, that's them. Fisher's getting out. Yep. They got that nice brand new facility and they getting out. I know it. I told them the same thing. Yeah, they're the ones who did my hog, well, two years ago. I couldn't get in last year. They did a real good job, didn't they? I loved it. I was really upset. I tried to get them to do my steers. They didn't want no part of that, though. The cable up through that tractor, and he's like, let's see what happens. Whoa, here we go. Whoa. There he is. There it goes. Another beautiful day in paradise here today. Winter has definitely not left the building yet. It is a chilly 42 degrees this morning with about a 15-mile-an-hour wind. Got Zach busy spraying yards, decked out in his winter gear. This wasn't necessary 2 days ago. I think the last week spoiled us. All right, after having to take off and haul hogs yesterday, our goal today is to get this hooded sprayer finished. We had to take all the nozzle bodies off because they were choked up with crap. Hopefully that's all that's left to do is clean the nozzle bodies out and put the tips, clean the tips out and put them back on, and this thing will be ready to go.
And then we can turn our attention to the bus, getting the bed frames back in there and getting this thing out of the shop and park for the time being. Originally our goal was hopefully to be in the fields by this afternoon, but it didn't turn off sunny yesterday. In fact, we got a little bit more rain. Cold and cloudy again today. We're supposed to have gradual clearing today, so it's looking like Saturday afternoon might be the earliest we can get in the field and get started on our field work. So it looks like we're going to be working probably Saturday and Sunday this week. Got more chances of rain coming in Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We're not behind yet, but if we don't get in the field soon and get to work, we will be. We got to make another round of fertilizer application on our wheat, 500 acres of that. We got to run the hooded sprayer over all of our cotton ground and most of our corn ground to get our burn down strips done before our cover crop gets too big. So cover crops really started taking off, growing, and it doesn't care if it's wet or not, it's going to keep on growing. And if it gets too big, the burn down strips won't work as well. So we got 570 acres of cotton ground to go over, and I'd probably like to go over at least 200 acres of my corn ground. And then we got a bunch of fertilizer to run through with our fertilizer buggy. We got dirt work to do, and planting season is less than a month away. And you get in March and April, usually you don't get too awful many days in the field because it's raining all the time. You know what they say, April showers bring May flowers. All right, all of our tips and stuff have been soaking here. We got our nozzle bodies off. Most of the junk floated out. I know you can't see, but down in there, all of that was stuffed full of just rust and gunk and stuff, preventing flow. So I'm gonna take the diaphragms out and blow air through them, get it all cleaned out. You see that? I had a lot of this gunk just coating the strainers here, so a lot of it's come off just soaking in the water, but that's what was preventing flow, or a lot of it was what was preventing flow through the tips. All right, we've got all of our nozzle bodies cleaned out, our tips cleaned out, and the threads taped off, so we're ready to go screw these back on, and hopefully everything will spray like it's supposed to after this. All right, we got everything installed back together. All the tips are spraying. We got the pressure set at 20 PSI. Got the air pressure in the tires checked. And all we got left to do, I believe, is just to grease the hooded sprayer, the tractor, fill up with fuel, load my guidance lines, and we will be ready to go. All right, guys, got my RTK modem installed. And after an hour of spending time on the computer, finally got my guidance lines and setup cards straight. And this is especially critical on the guidance lines because all of our guidance lines that we log with a hooded sprayer with RTK will be going into the planter tractor. So the ones that I'm using right now that were created last year, I got to make sure that they're actually the right one and not just some junk. Otherwise, my rows will be screwed up all year long. So we got only the guidance lines that we need, the good ones on there. And all we need now is just some dry ground and fill up and we'll be ready to roll. So we'll go ahead and park this and get on this bus, try to get it knocked out today. I wonder how many tools I left on this hooded sprayer. I looked it over good. I think I got everything, but I'm missing a pair of wire pliers that I was using. Wonder where they walked off to. Oh well, if it was left on the hooded sprayer, I guess we're going to plant it in the soil as we're going across the field and hoping those wire pliers reproduce, so I have more. Zach's got the sprayer loaded up, ready to go. The water truck loaded up with nitrogen, ready to go. Got everything serviced, tips changed over. Last thing he's doing, we had a little fitting right there. They call it an air valve. I guess it's for the boom air purge. And we got that little part in yesterday. Get this, $97.34. Good grief. All right, so we got all of our bed frames made up. Hopefully the second set is right. We haven't tried to fit it together. And now next thing, we're going to get it all mounted up in there. afternoon is done. We got both bed frames built, mounted, painted and everything. The only thing that's left to do is put some slats on here, put our panel up here. Might get a chance to build some slats in the morning. The sun finally poked his head out this afternoon. Just looking at the gravel, it's done a decent bit of drying this afternoon. Hopefully, maybe with any luck, we'll be able to go to the field to tomorrow afternoon and get started on our spraying with any luck. So won't know until we check the fields, probably sometime about mid-morning tomorrow. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Next time you see us, hopefully we'll be in the field. So stay tuned, we'll be back again later.